A very good morning to our distinguished guests, Mr. Ahmad Zakwan Muhammad Sharif, Vice President of Revenue, Billplz, Mr. CK Chang, founder of Oxwhite, Mr. Don Tan, Regional Manager, Guidewire Software, all invited guests, lecturers, staff, and students. Hello, I'm Yoon. I'm the moderator of today's forum. I'm a lecturer from Department of Soft Skills Competency, UTAR. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you to this exclusive forum, Digital Transformation, Challenges and Opportunities. We are privileged to have with us here today a team of panelists who will share their much valued thoughts, views, and experiences with all of us based on the following topics. Number one, what is digital transformation? Number two, how is digital transformation impacting the lives of youth? Number three, what are the challenges faced by youth? And lastly, what are the opportunities to be seized by youth? While the forum is in progress, shall you have any question, you may post it in the Q&A chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now start with the first question. So perhaps to start with, we can try to understand what is actually digital transformation, and perhaps we can start with describing the phenomenon. And I would like to invite Mr. Don Tan, okay, Regional Manager of Guidewire Software from the United States.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Don. Good morning.
Good morning. Just call me Don. Thanks, Yoon,
Hi,
for
Don.
the
Good morning.
introduction. And thanks to Dr. Sumitra and MDEC. Well, to start off, to answer your question, digital transformation is nothing new. I've been talking about it for the last 10 years on many conferences. It has been happening since we started to digitalize our office. You must have heard of paperless office in the past. And digitalize our banking to be internet banking. It has become one of the hottest topics in the recent years. We hear this phrase every day in our conversation, especially with the business executives, as I was in a consulting line for the last 20 years. Now, basically, digital transformation is the process which we call today digitalization to create new or modify existing business processes, organization culture, and customer experience. It's basically just the adoption of digital technology to transform the businesses and services. Well, in terms of the drivers of the phenomenon, there are a few factors. I'm sure Zakwan and CK could point it out from the business perspective. But as for an ordinary person, there are a few things that is obvious to us. First of all, is the ownership of digital devices. Everyone has a smartphone now. We have about 30 million smartphones in Malaysia, according to statistic in 2019. That's nearly everyone. Some of you might have 3 or 4 devices, like myself. I have a smartphone, a tablet, and a laptop. And of course, we have the internet connectivity through mobile, broadband, Wi-Fi. It's everywhere. You have 3G, 4G, and now even 5G. From 5 megabit per second of streaming to now 500 meg. Now, I think thirdly, like what Dr. Sumitra mentioned just now, one of the key drivers is actually the data availability. Like today we call it big data for digital businesses to use, because people are using internet, social media, sharing information, exposing the behavior or patterns on the internet. On average, Malaysians are spending more than 7 hours on internet every day. From Google search to Facebook feed, the YouTube video you watch, we could tailor the online experience based on your preferences. And of course, lastly, we have the COVID-19 now that has accelerated the digitalization because of the MCO, right? We do more shopping, more products on e-stores, and even we order more food through delivery. So I think these are the few things I could mention. Over to you.
Thank you, Don. Perhaps we can have Mr. Zakwan here to share with us more from a payment or e-payment or e-business perspective. Hi, Zakwan.
Hi, morning.
Hi, good morning.
Basically, digital transformation. Yeah, I agree with Don. COVID has been one of the. I think we can credit COVID for being the ultimate driver to digitalization in the country, especially. Because we all know that not only the government, but also the private sectors have always tried to push digitization ideas across their operation. But nothing could actually force everyone to really adapt to it or really execute the plans if it's not because of challenges that we are facing right now. We can also see a rise in digital transactions. For example, just giving you an example from our perspective, Billplz perspective. Last year, we took 12 months, the whole year, to process 1 billion ringgit in the value of transactions. But this year, we hit the same amount, we hit the same value back in May. And I think we're going to close this year with processing around 3 billion ringgit in transactional values. So that shows that we can look at COVID as a negative thing, but if you look at the positive side of it, that is the challenge. We as human beings, we always try to find workaround solution across huge challenges that we face. Digitization is the way to work around this current pandemic and challenges that we're facing. But if you ask me, what is the meaning of digital transformation, right? How do I define digital transformation? To me, digital transformation means using the access to technology to cut across barriers, regardless if it's physical or even time barriers for you to operate. Digital transformation means you, even as an individual, can run as a company with the use of the right tools, right channels, and the right strategy.
Thank you, Zakwan. I believe every one of us now actually have a clearer picture of what digital transformation means. Okay, we can say it is a phenomenon that has actually taken place for decades. Okay, it's just that we are not really aware of it, and because of the recent pandemic, and everyone starts talking about digital transformation, and we put more emphasis on it, right? So actually, it has been going on for years, and the COVID-19 pandemic was actually a booster or a catalyst to speed up the process. So now, if we have already understood what it is, then how it is actually impacting the lives of youth. Since it's a youth development conference today, I think it's better that we relate everything back to youth. Like for all our participants here, how is digital transformation going to influence, impact, and affect our participants here? So perhaps, Don, would you like to give us some of your insights?
Yeah, sure. I think how digital transformation impacting the lives of youth, there are many aspects here. It could be from the economy to the education, to the organization culture, and even to the employment, as Dr. Sumitra has mentioned a number just now. So maybe I'll let Zakwan and CK give more input on the business and economy side, since they are the entrepreneurs here. But as a hiring manager and employer, Guidewire Software is a US-based New York Stock Exchange listed company who are having a software hub in Malaysia to support Asia Pacific and the customers all around the world. So I could paint the picture from the employment perspective in terms of the organization culture, how it has impacted us today as the young people are working with us. The way we work, the way we communicate and collaborate have been changed. Three basic examples I can mention here. I think first of all, we are now always on. We are connected everywhere, all the time, across many channels and devices. You could be connected on the road, which you're not supposed to, or in the kopitiam, or even in the bathroom, right? You could be contacted via messengers, emails, social media, and even video calls. There is no more excuse for your boss or your colleagues not to be able to reach you these days, because you are always on and interacting. And the second impact is telecommuting. Now we could now work anywhere. Actually, for the past 10 years, I've been telecommuting. It's not just working in the office, but it could be at home or even in the Starbucks. Meetings are held on Zoom, just like now. Data and documents are now stored on the cloud. Communications are done on chats and emails rather than phone calls. So this culture has even been accelerated by the pandemic. I'm sure you have heard of Microsoft allowing employees to work from home permanently. In fact, in Gad Raya, we have this flex work policy now, allow us to work where we prefer. I have not been working in office for the last 9 months, in fact. Even the company is giving support on work from home equipment for us to equip our home office during this pandemic. And the third impact could be from the multicultural perspective, because now we work across borders and cultures. We could have a call center in India servicing customers in America, or a team in Malaysia working with other teams in Europe and US on a project. So we are not just dealing with Malay, Chinese, Indian cultures in the workplace anymore, but any culture in the world. Just give you an example, in Gad Raya KL, we could be working with 10 nationalities in a project. So that's one thing I could mention from the employment perspective. I think, Yoon, you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don, for giving us these real-life examples, and we can understand better how the industry is working now and how is this digital transformation changing the way people work. Perhaps, Zakwan, do you have any thing to add on, like how it is actually impacting businesses in terms of, because young people as well, they are joining the workforce, they are joining businesses very soon. How is this transformation, rapid transformation, going to affect them?
Thank you, Yoon. I like the term youth, not because I'm a youthful person, but youth is the age where it's the age where most of the youth in Malaysia. Yet, I mean, when I say most mean in the scope of university students, for example, and the graduates, for example, because that is the age period that where you are not tied with a lot of commitments yet, right? So you have the abundance of time and energy to trial and error, to experiment and to find where you want to hit for your future, right? So digital transformation is to me the most important contribution of digitization towards youth is actually to allow you to experiment with everything that whether it's for business or for personal developments or even for hobbies, without or with limited time spent outside of home. Because if I recall back 10 years ago, when I was a university student, when I was a college student, this is not a good example. Don't follow me, okay? I had to skip classes just to pursue things that I love, right? I had to skip classes just to learn how to sell. I had to skip classes. I had to skip tutorials just because I want to explore and building my own small businesses that time, right? But now, no, you can balance education, you can balance work, you can balance businesses and hobbies without having to even skip skip classes or skip from doing important things, because you are now all of the tools available out there, all of the knowledge base available out there, whether for free or paid. It allows you to pursue your interests, and it actually gives you much more advantages over the previous generations when it comes to accessing information online, right? And that's on the student perspective, as a student. But when it comes to businesses, right? Yes, I agree with Don. In fact, Billplz, we've been working 100% work from home since the MCO started. And we face no issues because people will ask, like, how about meetings? There will be people who still want to meet face to face, and how do you pursue sales? Because sales is everyone knows it's about network. It's about hanging out, having tea on the weekend with your prospect, etc. Right? But digitalization allows you to actually cut off certain normal practices, but because the most important thing is still about communication, right? So we have abundance of tools like Zoom, like Gmeet, etc. So we are able to conduct businesses like usual, even working from home, right? So my point is, digital transformation, if a business, it shouldn't be complex. If you are an aspiring entrepreneur, or you want to continue your family businesses or something, then you don't have to look at digital transformation as a complex thing. It's more about using quote unquote machines, to actually replace some roles that you require physical or a worker to conduct. For example, the likes of Google Drive, for example, it saves time from needing to meet your colleague or to meet your partners just to discuss or to review a document. You can just share there, collaborate there, comments there, etc. Right? And I'm pretty sure university students are well versed in utilizing such tools. And businesses should also look at automating key processes. For example, of course, like payment. Right? If you want to sell, for example, online using WhatsApp, for example, if you ask someone to bank in your money, to bank money to you, right? You will take around 3 or 4 minutes just to verify whether the payments has been made, because you need to ask for the payment proof. You need to check whether the money has been in your bank account, etc. But the use of technology like Billplz or other available payment platform out there, it helps you to know who pay what and when in real time. So that's just a small example on how the use of simple technologies could actually drive digital transformation across your business or into your daily life.
Thank you, Zakwan. If we listen to you, it seems like digital transformation is a pleasant and positive process, which is very different from what I expected. Because when everyone is talking about digital transformation, people are talking about, oh, it's so difficult. I face so many difficulties in changing, but I can see all the optimism. From Zakwan, you have painted a very beautiful picture for everyone here. And it seems like I also want to adapt or adopt digital now. I mean, like, yes, it's definitely very encouraging. And perhaps since most of our participants here are still in education, they're still pursuing the tertiary education, perhaps we can get Don to add on a little bit more on how exactly changing education. Because as I know, Don is also training and enabling, enabling your employees to get quality education during this period. So how do you do that? And how it has actually impacted and changed education for the undergraduates and young people?
Certainly. Digital has changed the way we learn. I think everyone here would know it and feel it and probably experience it now, especially during this pandemic. You know, there are three basic impacts on the young people now, not only young people, myself as well. Okay, so Zakwan, I'm still young at heart. So first of all, we can now learn anywhere. With digital devices, you could learn at the comfort of your home, on your sofa, and even on the tree. And virtual classes with online lectures or instructor-led training could be attended anywhere. In the past, we have to send all our employees to Ireland to do their training when they join us. But now we can have training conducted out of Dublin office with students in Europe and APAC attend on Zoom. And even something that, how about exams? Actually, exams are also now conducted remotely through Proctor Exam, where the students can be taking it at home, where examiner is actually watching the students through webcam and screen sharing. So now we can learn anywhere, have exam anywhere. Now, second thing is that we can now learn anyway. You do not need to wait for a lecturer or instructor to teach you anymore. You can do the e-learning using video lessons from the lecturers, which is pre-recorded, or you could even have computer-based training anytime on any devices like LinkedIn Learning is offering that. You could self-study or even do research. Today, what you do when you are doing your assignment as a student, you ask Google, you check Wikipedia, or you read online journals, right? And of course, last but not least, you could learn all the time. Dr. Sumitra has pointed out that the industry is changing rapidly. So what you learn today may be obsolete when you start working. It gives you the fundamentals, but you need to keep learning and you need to keep developing yourself when you start working. Learning never stops when you graduate from the universities. Like in Guide Raya, we're investing 40 to 80 hours a year on each employee for continuous professional development. So education has changed the life of the youth in a very positive way. Please take it as how Zakwan has shared with you.
Thank you, Don. So I start to feel that digital transformation is not that scary after all, because I as a youth myself, I experienced stress throughout the process of changing and getting more and more digital in my life, because I might have been a laggard kind of person, which means I do not adopt a lot of technology, but slowly I'm adopting it, and I slowly experience the benefit. So perhaps, but sadly, not everyone can adapt and adopt all these technology similarly. So there might be some challenges that are going to be faced by youth by digital transformation. So I believe at the same, while we transform, when we look at a good side, there are also a lot of impact to the industry, to education, the way people do business. It's going to impact youth as well. So perhaps if we are going to talk about business, I have to introduce you. CK. Hi, CK. Are you online? I believe a lot of people would know CK. Yes, CK is the founder of a really famous brand, Oxwhite, right? CK is the founder of Oxwhite. Is one of the leading apparel brand, online apparel brand in Asia now. So perhaps CK, you can share with us what are the challenges are going to face our youth in the coming years?
Yoon, and Don and Zawin, thank you so much for your sharing. Basically, it comes down to, I don't see it's a challenge actually. You know, Yoon, you just mentioned you have the trouble, you know, I would say taking part of this digital transformation, because you and myself and Don and Zawin, we grew up with Nokia phone. That's why. And I believe the audience today, the UTAR students, they grow up with smartphone. The transition for them comes naturally instead of us bigger transformation. I think all these come to them naturally. So like, you know, I've been working with a lot of teenage employees. They are from 19 years old, from intern to majority about 24 years old. The only challenge is their willingness to learn. I think it is all on a personal level, not environmental factor. Data are everywhere. Information is overload indeed. Is not, you know, so it is their willingness to learn, how much efforts they want to take to learn the information. Now a lot of new hires that we had in Oxwhite, not because of their degrees, not because of what they study, is actually their passions, and they show me their willingness to learn. So this is what we value the most. And true enough, Oxwhite has been in running for 2.5 years. I have seen our team members grow leaps and bounds in the various things that they never done before. Even we're not talking about youth. Even one of my senior staff members, who at one point came from a construction consulting service, has no experience in digital marketing whatsoever, and might as well, you know, in e-commerce. But she's today head of our logistic and fulfillment part of it. So, and that is very new for her as well, and she never graduated from that particular area. But through her willingness and hard work she put in 3 to 6 months, she figured out. I think the changes will be there always from time to time, but it's us openness to learn new information, new knowledge, that what put it ahead of the game. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, CK. I think there's one very important takeaway. Okay, I wish all the participants here can take note. It's not about all what we all already know now. It's about how much, how willing are we to learn new things and pick up new knowledge. Okay, perhaps, but at the same time, it seems like the media is painting a lot of a very gloomy picture for all the undergraduates, and they are saying, okay, jobs are disappearing, SMEs are closing down, we are facing the largest unemployment in history, and it's not just in Malaysia and across the region I believe in the Philippines, in the ASEAN countries. So are these also the challenges going to be faced by youth? Maybe Don or CK or Zakwan, do you have any insight on this?
Can I start? I know CK and Don might have something to point out, but I just want to take a good point from CK before I get to answer this question. I start the last course that I took in the university was tourism management. Okay. And when I say last course, it means I did not even finish it. But I have been jumping from different roles, different trials and errors across my life, just to reach at this point where right now currently I'm within the online payment industry. Such a huge jump from where I left school last time, right? So it's all about like CK pointed the best way. It's all about your personal drive, and it's all about your personal attitude in finding your workaround towards a solution, finding a solution or workaround to pass through the barriers that you're facing. Now, when it comes to like I mentioned way back earlier, this you do not need to have to go through what I went, or in fact what probably Don went or CK went through, because all of these experiences that other people that have experienced similarly like us, they have they have shared their inputs, they have built the tools, just to address the problems that they might have encountered before, and you can utilize it as a youth. You can utilize it and excel by using such tools or knowledge. Now, yes, it is true that I'm not saying that the data out there are wrong. You know, SMEs, industries, certain industries do face decline. Some you can say that is going towards the end, quote unquote, the end. Right, but if you look at it, it's a natural progress of life, and even as a company, we all know that it's all started with initial growth, and then initial stage, and then it jump into growth stage, maturity stage, and then declining stage. So you don't have to look at when you see that an industry is declining due to pandemic or due to natural disasters or due to misconduct in it. You don't have to look at it in a negative perspective, but just to understand that there is life, there is the starting and the end. So when you identify, when you see that, and it's a natural movement of the world. When something ends, something new will pop up, right? That's how it is, right? So as an advice, you know, don't focus too much on the industries. Don't focus to read news on the industries that are declining, you know, because it will give you, it will demotivate you, right? But instead, try to look at the new sub-industries or industries that are popping up, because one industry has died, another one probably could grab the opportunity. So that's the area or the news as a youth that you should focus on, rather than just focusing on something that it's out of our control, out of everyone's control. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Zakwan. Every time I listen to you, I feel so energized. I feel much better now. Okay, so perhaps we can also expose our students here, because the information that they receive may not be as much as the panelists do. So perhaps could you elaborate more on what are so-called the declining industries, and if these students are studying for these declining industries, what can they do? I mean, like, if I hear that, oh, my industry is dying, and by the time I graduate, I won't be able to look for a job. So what can I do? So perhaps, Don, do you have any insight regarding this issue?
Sure. I think Zakwan has painted a very positive picture. Of course, that's good. In fact, challenges also come with opportunity. But in the wind of digital transformation, I think what you have pointed out, Yoon, is basically the threat of technology, or the challenges of technology on the workforce and in the industry, in the way that, you know, certain industry could be declining. I would rather paint it in a different way. It's not the industry is actually declining, but it is evolving. It's changing. The job roles are actually evolving. Now, I'm actually an accountancy graduate, but I'm actually a country manager, regional manager for a software consulting company. So the skill set itself that is required for us to perform our job in the industry has been changing from the day when it was still manual work to today. Now everything is digitalized. So as an employer, one of the key challenges that we found, in fact, when you read newspaper, you will see all these statistics. We heard a lot about the graduate skills gap. What you learn in the university, it's not matching the industry need fast enough because of the evolution on the skills. Because the industry keep changing, keep evolving, you know. Now, however, the technical skills that we learn in universities will give us the fundamental, the basic that you need in order for you to step into the workforce and to continue learning the latest skills. So the challenge here is basically you just need to continue developing yourself, keep up to date and stay relevant with the latest technology. Now, other than technical skills, which can be easily learned, in my personal view, the greater challenge is the evolving roles in the workforce where jobs are going digital fast. Soft skills becoming more important than ever. I think this is close to your heart, Yoon. Now, where hiring managers like me are finding more gaps on graduate skills on this area rather than technical skills. I'm hiring 100 people next year. Now, this is one of the key challenges we are facing in Malaysia. 100 people in Malaysia. What we see here is that they have the technical skills because it could be taught in university. You could learn enough. However, soft skills need to be developed because universities could not train students fast enough on this area. They have too busy. You're too busy in your studies. You need extracurricular to help you, extra lessons to help you to develop skills like communication, presentation, critical thinking, problem solving, team building, and even entrepreneurship and leadership, like what Zakwan and CK have. Those are not just, you could just listen 10 lectures, then you could get it. It requires development and exercises. These are the differentiators that is going to make youth more adaptable, agile, and capable of complex roles that robots cannot replace. So you don't have to worry about the industry is going away. What you study is going to be useless, but rather it's how you evolve to match the role has been evolving as well. Artificial intelligence, robotic automation, they are replacing only the manual works. Those are repetitive, logical, and systematic. Job roles are evolving from those routine task-based work to more complex and solution-based work. You can see from the top 10 skills that Dr. Sumitra shared just now from the World Economic Report. Most of the skills are soft skills related. Today in CAT, we do not just need a software who can do coding for our clients in Australia, but we need an employee who could interact with our multinational users, build relationship virtually without even meeting in person, analyze the business problems remotely. In Malaysia, you try to understand what is happening in Japan, and work with others across the world to think of innovative solutions to address the business problems. Now, we may even need a person who could understand the different cultural behavior in order to design market-specific products or services. So that is the evolving roles. And of course, relate to it is the workforce is now changing. Like I mentioned just now, you may be servicing a client in Australia in the morning, meeting a client from India in the afternoon. You may be working with a team of a manager from Japan, team lead from Ireland, and members from India, Spain, and Poland. This is happening in Gateway KL now. So in such setting, the workforce requires very good English proficiency that become very important. But more importantly is the way how you interact, how you conduct yourself, and how you operate with the understanding of the different cultural aspects. That becomes the key success factor. Now, last but not least, allow me to just point out this here. While we all enjoy working remotely, telecommunicating at home, there are some interesting challenges as well to the young people, all right, including me, okay? First of all, is our personal discipline during productive hours, 9 to 6. Whether you're disciplined enough to actually do your productive work during those hours. For the reason that we have too many disruptions these days. Digital disruption that are causing employees to lose focus. Imagine the time we spend on WhatsApp, Facebook, IG. In Malaysia, 2.5 hours a day, Malaysians are spending time on social media. And of course, last but not least, we need to remember that all the flexibilities on working hours may also end up two challenges. Firstly, you work without stopping. You forgot about hours. Like now, I think some of us feel that. I have encountered, today is what day, yeah? Because we have been working all the time at home, right? Zakwan is smiling, I think he feels that. And we're always connected and always on without cutoff. Before I joined back to corporate world, I was also an entrepreneur of a startup. We just always on, 12 hours, 14 hours, client callers, anytime we will address it. So these are some challenges that we will need to face, but we need to learn how to address it as well in the workforce.
Thank you, Don. I believe it was another mind-blowing perspective. Industries are not dying, industries are evolving. So in the end, it still come back to us on ourselves. But of course, in the process of transition towards a more digital world, there are challenges that we have addressed just now. But perhaps I would like to hear from CK. Oxwhite is a very interesting brand story where it didn't start during the pandemic, but before the pandemic. And it seems like Oxwhite gained even higher or bigger success during this period. So I would like to maybe interview CK, how the story of Oxwhite, how did you come up with the idea of selling apparels online, beating all these big brands, and you see big brands like Zara, like these big brands are actually dying with retail stores. So perhaps you can share with us your story and how you identify the opportunity and how you overcome all these challenges.
Yoon, that is 2 hours sharing just by your question.
Wow. Okay.
No,
Can we make
don't
it
think,
shorter?
Yeah, no. Okay, I think from what you asked, the few things you asked, I would say, Oxwhite started with one simple idea, why we have to pay so much more for quality. I have worked in big corporations and in fashions, actually, quality items or luxury items are not expensive to make. They are just expensive to sell. So, knowing the cost of manufacturing these items and technology, being said, the e-commerce enable us to lowering down the cost and pass on the savings to consumers. So that is a win-win situation. So I saw that idea. I coming from a retail and distribution, I would say retail distribution scene throughout my 10 years. And I see I believe, not I see, nobody saw it coming, but I believe that the future is in e-commerce. I believe that people don't have to pay so much more because of the inefficiency of the retail chain, right? It's inefficiencies there. That's why you pay so much money. That's why they have to appoint distributor. That's why they have to open the shop in the mall so that you can buy the items. But things are changed now. People can buy at the comfort of their own home, as long as you have a good return policy. Your product is good. The review is good. So put everything there with the right ingredients. People will buy. That's how we started. And along the way, we pivot as well. From just starting one single white shirt, which is the working white shirt, to today we have more than 100 products available in the website. It is mainly because we pivot during the end of last year before the COVID starts. So it's also part of my belief. If I want to have more people enjoy my products, I cannot just serve those people who wear nice shirt to work. There are people, average people, just like Zakwan and Don today, they don't wear formal wear, just you and me. So can I make something good quality for a polo shirt? As simple as that. They used to pay maybe 100 to 150. Now we just sell for 49 for really, really good quality and good fitting. So this is what we have done. We pivot to more casual, more lifestyle product. So it's evolving. So if I'm still selling white shirt today, I think Oxwhite no longer can make it. And that's what we have done. And I would say it is the keep evolving part of it to make what we are still relevant today. Even today, I start to make sense, what is coming for us for next year. We all know that for retail, not that they are dying, people just get to go to mall. People enjoy go to mall. And for Oxford, I think I'm more to take a standpoint. We are providing an alternative for people want to shop at the comfort of their own home. They want to have better serve and have better product selection. So it is their choice. I cannot force them. There are people still choose a big brand over local produced items. So this is about consumer choice. I think I'm here just to offer alternative and option for them, whether is for them, they can choose whether it's a wise option, it's not, it really depends, right? So this is what we're producing. So, and it's come back to the early points. I think that is very interesting. You say the media pointing a very gloomy job employment for the youth. That is true, and that is true as long as the media have existed for 100 over years. Since when media pointed at good news anyway? Media sell on bad news. So I think being academics, we should not ask the question this way to have a student, you know, have focus on the bad things, right? We have to know media use bad news to sell. That is the fundamentals. They don't sell on positive news. You know, so if the headline reads, you know, Oxwhite growth 10% news versus Oxwhite is closed down, of course, more people read if Oxwhite is closed down. So that's the fact, right? So I think being understand this part, and jobs is always there, and it's always evolving. Like, you know, Zakwan can have a last course in tourism management. Seems to be a lot of people. It's not what you study, it's what you work for. I think especially for Malaysia, it's true. A lot of these kids and students, they don't know their passion yet, because they are not in a growth environment where as a parent, we let them to explore part-time work, we let them explore a lot of internship, right? So they don't know what they want. So they simply study based on parents' recommendation. It's great that UTAR still can allow students to choose what they want to study. For a lot of kids there in public university, the courses is given sometimes, right? It's given, so you have no choice, but that's not the end. And the fact is, you know, in the Western country, you know, a big part of university education is to help you to grow as a person, especially in soft skill, in team building, like what Don said, in how you solve a problem, and how you make differences when you have different opinions, how you come to a conclusion. That is more important. That's why in university, you encourage teamwork. You encourage a lot of conflict resolution. So this is what is important for the workplace. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, CK, for another mind-blowing perspective. I truly benefited through what CK shared. So, ladies and gentlemen, as youth, perhaps we might hear a lot of bad news every day, okay? But at the same time, there are also a lot of good news going on, but it may not be shown and portrayed by the media. So the market might not be as gloomy as we see, but we can see that there are actually a lot more opportunities out there. So perhaps we can move on to talk about what are the opportunities our undergraduates have now, and how did you, perhaps some of your personal experience, how can we help them to identify opportunities? Perhaps, perhaps Don, would you want to share with us any tips for young people? How can we identify opportunities?
All right. I think naturally, as an undergraduate, I personally was an undergraduate some time ago. I graduated from Universiti Putra, Malaysia. The first thing that came to our mind is to join a workforce before we consider entrepreneurship. But now here is that you actually have more opportunities, because starting a digital business compared to those days, the costs are different, and as well as opportunities are different. I'm sure you have heard of Dr. Sumitra mentioned just now about the program that MDEX have, such as Magic, you know. In fact, I will let Zakwan and CK talk more about this technopreneur, entrepreneur, because they are still on it. I have stopped, come back to corporate world. So probably I'll talk about the opportunities relate to youth and the workforce, all right? Now, I think there are 2 or 3 aspects that I would like to mention. First of all, the challenges we talk about working, anywhere or remotely also come with very good opportunity here, because number one, you have the flexibility to work anywhere now. With telecommute and remote working, you could have more flexible job, time and cost saving way of working. And to me personally, a benefited is a very work-life balance career opportunity. So firstly, flexibility. You could work anywhere, wherever that you find most effectively. It could be at home, at the office, in the library, or even in Starbucks. The distraction from the traditional office setting, like water cooler or coffee chat, that could be minimized. You could work where you feel most convenient and comfortable, even your home sofa, right? This will increase your productivity and job performance. Secondly, the savings. With telecommute, you can have time, you can save time from traveling to office. Now, these days in KL, we probably take 60 to 90 minutes to go to wherever our office is, right? But we can use those time now to do more productive tasks, talking to clients over the phone, build business, or even personal development. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be knowledge, listening to e-learning. And besides saving costs from the commuting, you also save the environment. And most importantly to me is you save yourself from the stress of traffic jam if you're in Klang Valley. Now, of course, thirdly, just now I mentioned work life. With work from home flexibility now, you could manage time with better balance for work and family. I think that's a dream for everyone aspire to have a family like me. I don't miss a dinner or even lunch these days with my family. We could take time off to attend personal emergency. And most importantly, to me, my favorite is watching the children grow up, because I'm spending time at home with them. They can walk in whenever even I'm working. It's better for me and for you, your health and your family. And as an employer myself, happy employees reduce attrition, reduce turnover. So in addition to increase of their productivity and morale, right? And also we actually save costs from the office space. So that's the number one. I think number two, the opportunity to work in multinational corporation is increasing. Companies now could hire talents from anywhere and have workforce at most cost-effective locations. Now I have to thank MDAC, because when Guidewire was surveying the location to set up their APAC hub, MDAC did a good job, attracted Guidewire to set up in Malaysia rather than China, Vietnam, or India. We have the strategic advantage of cost, language, infrastructure, and education. There are more and more large to mid-sized MNCs are setting up hubs here to service the region and the world. So you get more career opportunity as young people in MNCs. Don't just look at the large names, large corporation names. Just now, Dr. Sumitra shared even some local names, or even Guidewire is actually mid-sized multinational company. So look out for more variety of job opportunities out there. Don't miss out on those unfamiliar names, because they could be very big in China, in Europe, in US, but very small at the beginning here. For instance, the company I work with, Cognizant, got 300,000 employees around the world, but it was only 500 in Malaysia at the start. If you only look at big brands, you might miss out on all these opportunities. In terms of the exposure, you have the opportunities to serve clients in the region, not just working with our locals here. You get the experience of different culture, different ways of working in MNCs. It helps to expand your horizon of thoughts, exposure of knowledge and skills, experience with different type of technology, some that were still new to Malaysia, but it's already not new in US. It increase your employable values and expertise, right? And of course, the perks here is the travels as well, working in MNCs, when we are working on regional roles, you get to travel around. Like for instance, before I was in Guidewire, I was with Cognizant. I was a regional director covering the whole Southeast Asia. So we get to travel around Southeast Asia for business deals. And in Guidewire, our regional team, we go to Australia to work for the client. We go to Ireland for training. We go to US for conferences. So these are the amazing opportunity that the youth should seize. And of course, last but not least, come back to the reality. This is the time that you have the opportunity to maximize your human skills. Now, AI or robotics, while they're threatening jobs, it also gives us the opportunity to use more soft skills than technical skills, because robots and computer logics cannot replace that. Just now, Dr. Sumitra mentioned interpersonal skills, right? So that's one area. We can use different way to interact with different level of people or with different culture. But computer, they can only take over the straightforward interaction. Other skills, like just now we mentioned, problem solving, leadership, management, critical thinking. These are beyond machine capable yet. So we hiring managers are desperate for such employees. In our interviews, 1 hour of interviews is focusing on all these areas rather than just technical alone. So you should seize the opportunity, be involved in soft skills development and extracurricular in the student days or even in your early career days. Last but not least, keep learning, don't stop. And today you don't need to just wait for someone to teach you. You can read, learn, research, anytime, anywhere, low cost at your fingertips, you know. Use your time wisely. Now, I often coach my consultants. These days, I'm on training and developing consultants. We can always choose to watch Netflix or LinkedIn Learning. We can choose to read Facebook posts or an articles from an expert. We can busy sharing fake news or posting what show your expertise to increase your value. So what I would encourage the youth to seize is use digital for your long-term goal. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Don. That definitely helps a lot. And ladies and gentlemen here, even from participants from Malaysia or even overseas participants, I believe Don has given us a lot of encouragement to start aiming big. Okay, we can, because I can see a lot of Malaysian students. I'm not sure about other university, but I would say UTAR. It seems like they are not very good at exploring opportunities out of Malaysia. And perhaps later, Don can actually give us more strategy and how we can identify and find all these global MNCs, I mean like these MNCs, be it mid-size or large MNCs, and how do we get our way into these corporations? Because of course now UTAR has been working with some really big corporations like Google, Dell, Alibaba, but as you said, yes, people keep going to the big boys, and how about there are a lot more opportunities that have been overlooked. Okay, right. Thank you very much, Don, and perhaps yes, Zakwan, you will be able to give us a lot more opportunities as well.
I agree with everything that Don has pointed out on the opportunities. You know, small brands, sometimes that's the better way to, that's a better option or the better starting point to building your careers. Because when you go to smaller companies, it means that you have to wear more roles. A thing that you shouldn't complain about, but take it as a chance to learn as many skills as possible. Right, but another opportunity that if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, for example, you have realized that due to all this COVID pandemic and the limitations that we have, even the infrastructures have been has evolved. Right now, if you want to open a bank account, for example, you don't need to go to a bank branch. You know, all could be done online. Even Maybank, I was so surprised to see Maybank jump on board. To allow people to register a business bank account online, because all this while we all know Maybank is one of the strictest when it comes to opening a company bank account, right? It shows that industry players are adapting. Industry players are trying to give more opportunities to the market and make the market more accessible, right? But other opportunities that could be looked at is in terms of making your hobby as an income. We all know that we've seen real life examples of for example, Solos, a gamer, right, who earns 6-digit income per month just from playing game. I'm not saying that everyone should start playing games now, you know, but what I'm saying is sometimes, you know, the opportunity is right in front of your eyes. Things that you like to do in the past times, right, could be a source of income without you even knowing about it. Like CK gave a good example. He loves fashion. He has a strong. He's passionate in good quality clothes and thing. And look where he is now. You know, driving that passion, driving that interest to become not only started off as a source of income, and right now becoming the provider of incomes to his staff and team members, right? So that's those are the opportunities that people tend to overlook. They keep eyeing for the bigger, and it's not anyone's fault because that's how the society have been programmed. But this is the right time. If you really do not have any idea of where to go next, right? Sometimes the answer is just right in front of your eyes. So if you ask me how to identify opportunities, I just want to share, you know, every time, whenever people come to me and ask for advice, like hey, how can I get in touch with this prospect that I want, you know, or this big shot that I don't even know about, or I want to raise money for my business, how should I approach it? I always give one advice that I've been holding for so long. You know, if you ask for gold, you'll get advice. If you ask for advice, you'll get gold. You know, always start with asking. Always start with seeking. Get a question and seek answer to it. I can elaborate more on my quote just now, but to keep the relevancy to this topic that we are discussing. That quote actually comes from a story that I heard a couple of years back when I was still struggling to find my path in life. The story said that in a village, you know, in a foreign country out there, where people pray to multiple gods, the villagers keep on praying to the god of gold, god of wealth, you know, asking for money, but the god of wealth never returned back their prayer. Okay, so there's one guy in that village. He went to the god of knowledge and seek for as much knowledge as possible, right? And the god of knowledge look at the guy and tell the god of wealth, this is my child, you know, bless him with gold, bless him with wealth. So the key point here is seek for knowledge, ask for questions, ask advice. Don't be shy about it. You know, important people important and busy people like Don and CK, they will really appreciate if you come to them asking for a sincere advice instead of asking them for jobs, you know, or instead of asking them to put money into their business. Because they have abundance of experience that they would love to share. It's just that they do not. It's just that all of the files are kept in their mind. They just need a trigger, a good question for that knowledge to come up, to pop out and share with you. So that's my only advice. If you want to seek opportunities, keep asking, keep learning. That's all.
Thank you, Zakwan, for the interesting story. And perhaps everybody is, so we all basically know that there are a few way outs now. Okay, either we can aim for global MNCs because actually there are still a lot of businesses hiring. Do not miss out all the small and medium MNCs. But at the same time, we have been talking about entrepreneurship. Everybody is talking about starting e-business, online retailing, selling online. But at the same time, I also hear a lot of people saying, oh my God, the price on the internet is so transparent now. And if you go into Shopee, Lazada, there are hundreds and thousands of people selling the same thing. How can e-commerce be still a possible way out So I would like to ask CK, dedicate this particular question to you. Is e-business or e-retailing still a very viable way out for our undergraduates?
Yoon, I think this is a rather a general question. I don't think one solution fits all. I would say do what you have the calling of doing. It doesn't mean today everybody in e-commerce does. You know, the trend is e-commerce. Everybody has to go to e-commerce. If you find passion in cooking, so be it. Right? If you have passion for driving a Grab car, so do it, be the best driver. So I don't advocate for people, you know, because the opportunities in e-commerce, everybody went in, but they don't know why, right? So for me, this is just the beginning of the game. It's not the, you know, look at what Billplz Oxwhite is a proud, we use Billplz payment gateway in our Oxwhite store, and look at their growth. You know, it's 3 times this year compared to last year. So the overall industry is growing. So when for millennials, it's very simple. They buy less, but they buy better. So keeping up with this goal, I think anything we do, especially youth, if you want to be starting your own business in e-commerce whatsoever, opportunities are plenty. But just bear in mind, don't do something that is mediocre, not because of sake of selling cheap prices. A lot of cheap things, you know, like we can see in a lot of stores today. It doesn't last for. It may not even last for 1 use, and the thing already koyak. So as you can see, there are thousands of products in the marketplace, but how many of those are quality, right? So this is the question. So to able to serve the market you really want to serve is very important. So I think that should be a general, because it's too specific. I can't go into too specific on this thing.
Thank you, CK.
Yoon,
So
may I just echo what CK said?
Yeah, sure.
I really like what he shared here. You know, just be the best at what you do. In whatever you are investing in being the passion. I can see, you know, Oxwhite, they provide the values, not just putting their products on the platform, e-commerce platform, but they want to be the best in their industry. And same thing on e-payment. I'm sure Zakwan, they will want to be the best, and they're striving to actually be the best. You don't have to just compete on prices. I'll just give you one example. Gap Raya is not cheap. In fact, it's very expensive. But if you want to get it, pay for it, because we have the values. We are #1 in the whole American market. We are #1 in the entire Europe market. In APAC, we are not, because we are not competing on price. APAC people, a lot of countries are very price sensitive. But when they look for values, they want the best software, they will still call us up. Likewise, if you want a good quality clothes, you know, I don't want to wear something that I need to keep changing. We are now minimalist, right? We want to actually really wear good quality product. So these will be the opportunities. I think I just want to echo on what CK has mentioned.
Thank you. So moving forward to, if our undergraduates or young people, we wish to venture into e-business, can we conclude that we don't have to worry about how the market is and what other people are selling, what price they're giving, but focus on delivering value, creating value for the target customers, your target customer segment, and perhaps I think digital marketing and digital business is just a booster. Even if we do not have a good product or good value to deliver, it doesn't matter how we market it. It doesn't matter how we promote it. We give discounts, and that's not going to work. So can we conclude it that way? Maybe CK?
In a way, yes. Yeah.
And if I'm allowed to add, right, if you are a new venture, it's all about finding your first the earliest adopters, your earliest supporters. Those are the group of target market, the group of people that you can that will appreciate your value, and from there you can extend to replicating similar or probably different values to address the different segments. A good book that you all should read is if you are an aspiring entrepreneur that wants to innovate or introduce new technologies to the market, is there's a book called I think Crossing the Chasm. So it says about it teaches you about that stages of market acceptance, and they are the only key differentiator between you as a small startup to become a unicorn, for example, is to find a way to address the gap. But that all should come at a later stage. If you are an aspiring entrepreneur, or you have probably one or two products that you want to sell, the focus is all about finding that initial adopters that would be your cult supporters. For example, Billplz, we started off not promoting our business to the business owners. We started off with promoting our business to the developers, because we know for a fact that 99% of business owners out there can't even read API documentation. I can't read API. I can't code. I don't know anything about coding. I just know some probably a few points here and there that I took up along the way, right? So we started off with programmers. We identified that, hey, programmer is the community that will drive our business, because programmer is the key person that will advise the business owners on which payment solution that they should go for. Right, so we make our solution very easy for developers to integrate, and that's how we started to build our mark. Although 6 years ago there are already plenty of incumbents in the market, huge players that have probably 20 years advantages over us. So that's my some of my advice to top up on what CK and Don has shared, and to your conclusion, Yoon.
Thank you, Zakwan. So perhaps before we end the forum session, I would like to ask for some advice from our speakers here, because we can see all of you actually discovered a problem, and then you had a passion to monetize it. That's the stories after that. But could you please share some tips with our participants here? What to discover problems, and what's the attitude they should have to deal with these problems?
Maybe I'll just begin. All right. I think one of the advice that I have seen before, I've gotten before, is never say no to opportunities to learn. I think that will be one tips that I'll give to everyone. Zakwan has mentioned just now, just learn to do, you got to learn to do everything when you are an entrepreneur. I still remember the 6 years running my own company. I was the accountant at night, the HR at night, and then I was the strategy consultant and a businessman in the day. Have to learn everything. And that skills actually helped me eventually to become a country manager of a company in the region. It helps me to be able to train people, develop business as well. I think that's one very important thing I'll keep advising the youth. When opportunity comes to you, when you are being asked to do something that you do not know yet, it's not that you won't know. Say yes to it first. Say yes, and then go and find out how to do it. I'm sure all the businessmen here, CK, Zakwan, the steps from A to Z, you don't know it, in terms of running a business when you start off, but you pick up and learn along the way. Likewise, when you are going into the workforce today, same thing. you won't know 100% of what you're going to do. You probably only learn 30% in your university. The other 70% is you're going to continue to learn. So say yes to opportunities that come along your way. That would be my advice.
Thank you, Don. Would there be any advice from CK?
I would be the same. I would be the same as Don has mentioned. Yes.
Thank you. It seems like Zakwan also mentioned you read books. Do you think reading really help in helping our young people to build better exposure and gain better understanding of the world now?
My answer is a bit controversial. I would say not so much.
What about that?
The book was something that I picked up when I have time, and that was 10 years ago, or 6 years ago, when things are not as fast paced or as busy as right now. But it's not about books actually. It's about even a simple article is a good source of knowledge. Right, it doesn't have to be book. I kind of disagree with the with how addictive stuff. I mean, like how certain group of people try to push that book is the answer to everything. But the keyword is actually knowledge. It's not book. Book is just a tool to sharpen your mind. But there are multiple tools out there to sharpen your mind as well, apart from book. It's all about knowledge that and information that you want to absorb, right? That's number one. But if you ask me, I stand 100% agree with Don and CK on the advice. Apart from my ask for advice, you get goal. Ask for goal, you get advice. My other tip for and this is an advice that I've gotten from my own CEO. That is be present. You know, just be present. Even if you don't know whether you can close the deal, even if you know that you can say that, oh, okay, this there's a hanky panky going on, I will never get the project, blah 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 blah. No, be present. You will never know the outcome, because sooner or later the right people will see your value. And you will find people who are willing to pay for your value. So always be present. That's all.
Thank you. It seems like successful people think really differently from the mainstream thoughts. So perhaps I would like to interview and help our participants to dig out more secrets. Actually, what do you think are the habits that help you to discover problem, and you have this antenna that you can sense the upcoming trends, and what help you to build this ability to sense problem and go ahead of other people to achieve the success in your industry?
So I think from the business perspective, there's one thing that I have always done in my past 20 years of consulting is that, you mentioned about antenna. Not just the antenna, you need satellite. Try to receive as much information as possible that is happening around the world. I have been advising on digital transformation for insurance industry the last 10 years and pioneered in even the use of social media for insurance industry, which is a heavily regulated industry. How do we actually know what to do? We look at what the West has started. We learn from it, we analyze it, and then we use it. We see how it can be applied in the Asia context. And even that at the end, gave me the opportunity to be invited to Taiwan to give a talk, forum like this to the insurers in East Asia, because we are the pioneer on this area. And again, you can be the pioneer, but you don't have to be the first. You need to be innovative. Once you see a problem in the industry, research what others has been experimenting, what others has been trying to do, and adopt, adapt, evolve, innovate, and put into your context here, and then use it for your industry, be it education, be it in financial, or be it in the retail markets. So this is what I will share.
If I can add there, sorry, actually, Don, it's literal to send satellites just to get business information and insight. Companies in the US, in the Silicon Valley, they launch satellites just to monitor parking lots of their competitors.
Yes.
You know, to that extent that people try to get insight to know where to hit next. But normal human being like all of us here, we don't have billions to launch a satellite into space. No, the AI capacities like what you saw in the movies, right? For me, whenever, yes, of course, there are a lot of methods out there. Don't have his own technique. CK has his own techniques, you know, and you can get all the advice from them. If you ask me, because whenever I'm stuck on how to go next, I always go back to the earliest adopters, ask them what are the constant challenges that our values couldn't solve. From there, I get the answer, usually. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. So which means Ahmad, Zakwan also recommended us getting advice and mentors. So do you think mentorship and attending courses is very popular now? Do you think attending courses and getting mentorship, it's a way that young people can start with? Perhaps maybe CK can answer that question.
I let Zakwan answer this one.
Okay.
I personally have never paid for any courses. That's a confession. The only paid courses I took was when I was employed in MNC. The company had budget for self-improvement, and those are the only paid courses I took. But it's not necessarily about paid advice or paid mentorship. And to me, that's where youth need to be careful. Mentor is not the answer to your problem. Okay, mentor is just someone that has been in a similar situation like you before. They could share what not to do. Okay, but they can't tell you what to do. That's the very important thing that the youth have to understand about the concept of mentorship. So because I've heard a lot of youths complaining that I don't get anything from this mentor, or some that just keep on chasing mentors and don't run their own business or don't do their own don't even complete their work, right? So the mentorship is important when you have reached to a certain stage. But during the initial phases, best to learn on your own and go to quick courses or you can pay for classes, but don't blindly follow what you learn there. It's all about taking the information and knowledge from whatever that you paid or whatever courses that you attend, and try to find the right fit to whatever that you are doing. And again, I'm not against any of this, although I've never paid, but it's just that it's just me. But the most important thing is you need to know that you can't put your success, you can't blame for your failure on your mentors, because they are there to tell you what not to do based on their experience. And it's all boils down to your personal dedication and your grit and the way you analyze the market.
I think let me just add on mentorship, because in Guide Raya, every employee is assigned with a mentor, starting with the career, but they are also assigned with a career coach. Because the mentor, just like what Zakwan has mentioned, is the person who is going to give you some guidance because they have been through it. They can tell you what not to do. They can give you, the most is suggestion, what they have done. But how they have done it, what they have done could be successful for them, but may not be successful or applicable to you. Everyone's situation is different. So whatever the mentor can give you is guidance. Even you can attend courses, you can attend seminars like this. What the points that is given, you can serve it as your reference point. When you do not know what to do, just look back. Is it the similar situation I'm facing now? Can these points be applied to me? But nonetheless, I would like to encourage everyone to expand your networks, to experience people who are already working or in the business where you are interested in, so that you could see their example and see where are the things you could learn from them. That's actually a way of mentorship as well. If you're in the workforce, of course, your senior, your team lead, or even your manager, they will be the one who will be able to coach you and guide you. I still remember when I was a student, how do I choose to be on accounting and then eventually a business analyst in IT? It's because I have seen the people in my church who are from accounting, how they move on to consulting, how to move on to accounting, and then I see their life, I talk to them, I learn from them. And that's how helped me to actually make decision whether I'm going to stay in audit line or move to business consulting. So all these advisors are tips to you. They can serve you as a guide, but they are not the path for you alone, because everyone will react differently. Everyone has different success story. So that would be what I felt.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for all these precious advice. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of our forum session. Let us give a round of virtual applause to our speakers for their sharing. I sincerely believe all of us have benefited from this insightful session. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to open the Q&A session to the floor now. You may pose questions to the panelists now. And in fact, we already have some questions here. Deng D. Bo asks, how do employers balance between hiring foreigners and respective governments in a policy to hire locals, which is citizen first?
Okay, I can sense that the question is directed to me because this is the situation we are facing now. I mentioned just now, GapRaya is going to hire 100 people next year. Okay, we are struggling because of the Ministry of Human Resources implemented this My Future Jobs. Now, all the while, why a company like GapRaya want to set up a hub in Malaysia is because of the local talents. We didn't set up the hub here so that we can hire foreigners. We want local talents. So as much as possible, we will want to actually hire local people. However, there are times that we couldn't get those resources after we have the vacancies for a while. Example, we have been publishing a job posting for a number of positions for weekend shifts. No Malaysian pick it up. So we have to go overseas and we have to work with MDEC in order to get employment passes to hire for, the foreigners. They are more willing to actually take up weekend shifts. So this will be one area that we are facing right now. The other one, in terms of competition in the local market, as well as the foreign market, you know, we have our neighboring countries are actually competing with us in hiring our talents. They will offer, you know, 3 times the pay that we are offering because of the currency to attract talents there. But at the same time, we need not forget that a lot of opportunities is available locally for us to actually grow. The only thing is whether our local graduates are willing to grab it. If we are only keen on choosing the big names, like I'm guilty of it, when I graduated as an accountant, where do we go to? We go to the Big Four. I started my career with PricewaterhouseCoopers. So, but then after you have been interacting with more in the industry, you will realize that actually the small names are also offering a lot of career opportunities, especially now, you know, with all the startups. You could eventually, you know, started off small in a startup, but eventually they grow and they become a significant big company because you are the pioneer. You will be at a prominent position. So now come back to the question here is that we will try to always balance. We try to have some foreign talents because we want to have the collaboration across the culture to, you know, inspire better ideas, you know, more ideas. But at the same time, rest assured that our priorities will still be hiring local talents. I would just encourage our youth here is that don't be too choosy on the names. Choose a good company. That's all.
Thank you, Don. That still gives a lot of hope to our local talents. Okay, the next question is actually directed to Mr. Zakwan. May I ask Mr. Zakwan to repeat the name of the book that you mentioned? He didn't quite get the name.
I also forgot. It's been long. I'll dig around. Can I share to you, Yoon?
Sure. I'll find out and I'll send to our LinkedIn group. If you have not joined our LinkedIn group, kindly join it now.
Okay. Give me a minute. While other questions are going on, give me a minute. Let me just.
No problem. Okay. There's a question asked by Yuan Fu. What is your take on the opinion that digitalization has factor into the degradation of mental health, especially in youth, as the older generation have mentioned that with digitalization, the younger generation lack more in physical human contact, which they relate to increases mental health cases like anxiety and depression. So to summarize the question, can I say that older people tend to say that, oh, you young people, you are using the internet, you're facing the digital device all the time, you don't talk to people, and at the same time, it seems like modern people are more and more anxious and, you know, developing a lot of mental health issues. So what's your opinion on this?
I don't know whether the young people like Zakwan want to give your perspective first before the old people like me to give our perspective. Okay, maybe while Zakwan think of you know, how to counter that from the young people perspective, I think that is a we can look at it as an unconscious bias. We must see that digitalization not only disrupt certain behavior or certain skills among the young people. We should also see digitalization have helped the youth to develop new skills. For instance, robotics and automation is something that the youth are, you know, the industry are actually experimenting a lot because of one thing. Why do I have to keep doing this routine works that machine can take over? With that passion, they work out the technology, they work out the program algorithm to actually resolve the problem. Because they have their idea, they have, you know, they have the urge to actually want to resolve this problem using computers. Where, you know, in an old school of thoughts is that, if whatever I can do it, I'll do it. Now, but at the same time, while we admire that skill sets and new talents coming from digitalization, I cannot say what the comment you made just now is entirely false as well, because we do, as a hiring manager, as a career coach, we do see the deterioration of certain communication skills, which is verbal and face-to-face. A lot of time, a lot of employees are very comfortable punching on the keyboards. They can say many things. But when they come to in-person presentation, in-person communication, they are lack of words. So I can't say that it's entirely contributed to digitalization, because now we only WhatsApp, we only chat, we only emails. But rather, it could be a wider aspect of it. It's possibly because of the time that we spend on communicating face-to-face is not enough. Because I'm sure Yoon, you don't start off being chatty, being vocal when you were still a child. It's because of the experience in interacting that helps you. Like for instance, CK Zakwan, we don't learn to do small talks and business talk from schools or when we actually started. We develop along the way. So I think it's the opportunity to exercise those skills. Instead of chats, let's do Zoom, right? Instead of messenger chat talk, let's do a messenger call. So those will actually help to improve that face-to-face communication skills. That will be my take.
Thank you, thank you. So,
sorry, the book name is Crossing the Chasm by Geoffrey Moore. I've WhatsApp you so that you can share in the linking group.
Okay, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Okay.
Yoon, you are on mute.
Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, shall you have any other question? You may just post it in the Q&A chat box.
Maybe while waiting for the question, what I'm quite interested to learn from CK here is because I'm the older generation. In the past when Zalora first came out, become popularized, I keep having the doubt, how can boutique line works in e-commerce space? Because traditionally we are very used to in-store visit of the clothes. We want to feel it, we want to put it on, we want to try it. But I make my first purchase online without testing and trying out, just based on reviews and so on. And then subsequently it becomes a habit. How do you see that transformation actually happening from consumer side and from the business end, based on your experience? Sorry,
CK?
that's trying to.
Don, your question is to me?
Yes, yes.
I was listening and I thought you were speaking to me.
No, actually, I was very interested in your industry. That's something that conventionally thought not possible to digitalize, but it is now digitalized. What is your experience like on that?
I think we are giving away more when we take up the real retail experience of trying and touching the fabric and put it on. In a way, we give more in a way that the retail can't give. So retail has done, traditional retail, they've done a fantastic job, 99.9% right thing. There are one thing that we can do that what the digital brand can't do. That was be longer customer service hours. Like for Oxwhite, for example, our customer experience team are working from 9 in the morning until 12 midnight. So at any time of the day, if you need to ask for your sizings, you have question with your orders, someone can there be reply to you 7 days a week, as opposed restricted retail hours at the mall, and also a better return policy. And for example, a lot of retail store, when the sales are final, you can't exchange refund. Even you just walk up the store and you lost your receipt and you come back for exchange or even return, they say, no, I need a physical receipt. But all that is done possible is online. And in the retail store, oftentimes you make a decision just by recommendation of the sales staff or your own taste. But when it's come to online, we have product reviews. For example, any of our products, especially the popular ones, we have more than 1,000 people review a particular single product, and they give 4.8 star to 4.9 star out of 5. Then you think that is good because there are more than 1,000 people say it is good. But in retail, you make your own shots, right? You purchase it and then it's something you don't like, then you regret that and that. But online is possible. So at the very first, when we started Oxwhite, and nobody knew the brand and nobody knew the cutting and the sizing, whether it's comfortable, because at the time of the survey, 99.9% of the men out there actually don't buy shirts online. even the millennials, is something for shirts that like the working shirts is something a try on experience. Then how we get away from not able to let you try is to offer you 365 days of exchange and return policies, no question asked, as long as all the tags along, still in original packaging condition. We offer you a 365 days exchange and return. That's what it takes to convert you. So small details like this, it adds up. Of course, being able to shop in retail is 99%, but the 1% that they don't do, we enlarge it and offer in other way that the retail can offer to you.
Oh, thanks, CK. I think that's hit on the point again, like what I just mentioned. The industry actually evolving. It's not just going away or diminishing. So whatever jobs or skills that we learn or the industry we are in, we have to evolve and move on to the new trend. So thanks, CK, for that sharing.
Thank you. I think it's also about being very observant to be able to observe the 1% that is still lacking in a particular industry. So actually, we do have other questions here. Another student asked, when there are so many opportunities out there, how to distinguish the genuine ones from those disguised promising ones, which is like, what are the so-called real opportunities and opportunities, right? So-called opportunities. But yeah, I mean, in the social media, and especially during this period, a lot of friends approaching us and saying, oh, there are new business opportunities, why you should join us. And so perhaps we can give some guidelines to our young people here, how they can, differentiate between real opportunities and fake promising ones.
Can I start first? Because I'm going to be very quick on this. If there's anyone else want to answer. First and foremost, make sure it's legal. The opportunity is legal. If the opportunities come from specific industry, there must be some sort of regulators, some sort of watch list. Always make sure those opportunities are legal. If the opportunities are new and unheard of, and no one regulates it, then it boils down back to what do you want? Why do you want to do this? Always ask yourself why. And from the objective, from your self-objective, you can always find the answer whether these are something are the real opportunities for you or not. That's my answer. If Don or CK have better suggestion, could please be my guest.
Okay, maybe what I could share here is that just watch out when it is too good to be true. There's nothing that comes, without hard work. No free lunch in the world. All right, we got to work hard in order to achieve where we are. I'm sure CK have worked long hours to build up the business, and I'm sure Zakwan, to be where you are right now, you have spent a lot of effort learning and researching and working. That's same for everyone. So whatever promises come, you need to actually evaluate. Is it too good to be true, or is it authentic in a way? Now, I think the other thing is basically now informations are available everywhere. We just need to spend a little bit more effort to research and find out, and check around. You have you have Google to ask. You have friends to ask on your social media platform. And they could actually, all this information will be able to tell you whether these are something that's genuine or not. And of course, lastly, you do some in-person audit. Go and talk to the person and check with them, because a lot of time you'll be able to sense better whether these opportunities are authentic or not from the tone, from the way how it's being communicated, and from the information that is being shared with you. Just one thing is, take a lot of effort to go and find out when you're not sure. Don't just jump into it. That would be my advice.
Yes, thank you, Don. I believe during this period, a lot of people will also hunt on young people's desire to gain success. And there are a lot of fake promises as well. So we all really have to be more careful. Okay, there are a lot of things that can be asked online now. Just ask in some forum, Google. Talk to a few more friends before making certain investments, or putting in a lot of effort, time, and resources. So with this, I think thank you. We can conclude the Q&A session. We have come to the end of the forum today. We wish to record our deepest appreciation to all distinguished guests for your gracious presence at this forum. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we might give a virtual applause to all our speakers here today. I wish to thank them a lot for taking, time off their busy schedule to join us here today. I think everybody really benefited from what you have shared with us. With this, once again, I want to thank you very much and hope we can have more collaboration in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.